On Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We're going to go to Facebook. And if there's any questions on Facebook, we will take them. There we are, live on Facebook. All right. Three. Let me record. Three, three, two, one. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the U.S. and around the world. Welcome to Baseball Outside the Box. The show loves to interview baseball's greatest coaching minds from all over the world. And we are thrilled that you could join us on today's show. And we've got another good one. At least we always think we do, right? Because we got great guests that come on and really appreciate it. First of all, before we start, special thank you to ESPN Honolulu. Aloha, everybody. Thanks for hosting the show there. We really appreciate that. And special thanks to everybody in the U.S. around the world. We're in over 100 countries, and that's only because of our listeners. Whether you're a listener, whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, we really appreciate it. If you're listening on or watching on Facebook, you got any questions, put them in the comments section, and then we'll get to your questions best way we can. All right, let's rock and roll. Let's not waste any time. Man, this is going to be great. Special friend, great individual, great person, great coach, manager, runs a great program in Tenerife, Spain. We are going to have Nestor Perez Jr. And Nestor currently is the manager of the Augusta GreenJackets, Braves low A farm system. But he's been with the Braves for 10 years, a former Cuban player in the Liga Nacional, the Pro League, shortstop. He's been an assistant hitting coach. He was signed by the Rays, played in Spain at their highest level. He coached in the World Baseball Classic, the Spain team. I mean, he runs a fantastic program in Tenerife, Spain, camps all year round from countries from all over the place. And I was honored to be part of the first year, the European Winter League, an incredible league run by Nestor and his staff, just well run. It's just the machine was running full speed. And there were kids from all over Europe, the top 18U players from Europe. It was outstanding. So let's not waste any time. Welcome, my friend, Nestor Perez Jr. What's up, buddy?
Thank you, Peter. What introduction there.
Yeah. Well, I could have kept going because you got a great baseball background. And, man, you and I have known each other a long time. But, last year I got to work with you and saw you firsthand, man. One of the best instructors I've been around in a long time. And it's a pleasure to be your friend also.
I think I'm the best after you. You are the best. We had last year, and I got the chance to work with you for first time because we met each other like 2, 3, or 4 years ago. But this was our first chance that we were on the field together, and I really enjoyed it a lot. I learned from you a lot, and we had a great time last year in November in Tenerife.
Yeah, it was awesome. And likewise, man, I learned a lot also. And that's what's nice about doing this kind of stuff. We're going to talk about Tenerife. I want to get into that. Hey, let's do this for our audience. Let's maybe about 5 to 10 quick questions. See, and quick answers, just kind of let them know about you. I know now the biggest part, obviously, born in Cuba, right?
Yes, I was born in Cuba in 1976.
Brothers, sisters?
Matanzas, Cuba.
Yeah, Matanzas. That's one of the pro league teams there, right?
Yes, Matanzas, Cuba, 2 hours from Havana.
Yeah, brothers and sisters?
I got one sister. I got a sister.
You still got
8 years younger than me.
Still have family?
My age. I just say the year I was born, 76.
Yeah. Yeah. Still, is family still in Cuba? Some family?
I got my grandmother from the mother's side. She's still in Cuba. She's the only one person that is still in Cuba. The rest of the family is either in Miami or in Tenerife, the Canary Islands.
Great. And you went to school there, went to high school there, right?
Yes, I went Cuba to school. I left Cuba when I was 20 years old. So I went to school in Cuba to the 12th grade. They call it the
12th. Favorite Cuban player?
Favorite Cuban player, I would say.
There's so many good ones.
No, there are too many. One, but I would go like a shortstop, Germán Mesa. I would go with Germán Mesa.
Yeah, and you were a former shortstop. You played in the Liga Nacional. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, that's why I picked him, because there were too many good ones. Omar Linares, I like Omar Linares a lot. I like Lázaro Valle a lot. I enjoy watching him pitching a lot in Cuba. but I would go with Herman Mesa.
Something you learned in Cuba as a player, maybe from another coach, that you use a lot in the US, something, anything?
The number one thing I learned in Cuba was discipline. That's why it got me where I am today. Be disciplined with everything you do. Be disciplined, be respectful and discipline. Those two, they're going to take you anywhere.
You know what? And that's one thing I failed to mention in the introduction, folks. The thing I noticed about Nestor, and I'll say this, one of the most organized and attention to detail people that I've been around. Now I worked with LaRusso for about a week in the World Baseball Classic, and he's very attention to detail. Man, you're right there with him. You think of every little detail. Where did you get that from?
I got that from Dave Tremblay. Dave Tremblay, he was a field coordinator here for three years when I was working in Rome, when I was working in Downville, Virginia. He's the one that always talked to me about little details, little things. And he's the guy that he can see everything. And anything that happens on the field, he can see it. He can see it. So I always want to be like him, see everything that happens in the field, things that nobody can see. That's what you just call little detail, little things. And we always say little things are going to help you to get to big things to happen, you know. So I learned that one from Dave Tremblay. Dave Tremblay was he was a coach, and he managed in the big leagues for 1 year for the Baltimore Orioles, and he was a person that he helped me out a lot during my first career on professional baseball.
You know what? Let's do this because I think it's just very interesting. Here you are. You come over to the U.S. You get over to the U.S. Talk about that experience, what that was like. You had to make a decision to come to the U.S. How did that occur, and how did it happen?
Since I was a kid, my dad was a Cuban national baseball team coach, and he was the person that he was my coach always in my career in Cuba. He always wanted me to play in the big leagues. He always like even if we were in Cuba, he was like, I want you to play in the big leagues one day. I want you to play in the big leagues one day. So we always want to get out of the country to see if we can have a chance for me to make it to the big leagues. So we moved in 1997. We moved to the Canary Islands to Tenerife, and from there, the next year, 1998, I found myself here in the United States playing my first season with the Tampa Bay Rays in rookie ball. It was a big change. You know, baseball in Cuba at the time, we use aluminum bat. Professional baseball, organized professional baseball in the United States is different than baseball in Cuba. It took me a couple of years to really understand the philosophy of baseball professional. So it was a big change for me. Probably that was one of the reasons that I never made it to the big leagues, because it was a big change for the Cuban young Cuban shortstop, not having ever been in this country, do not get to know the culture here, the language, a lot of things, a lot of new things for me came so quick in my life. And I think I don't want to say I waste, because I think I never waste time in my life, but I would say I waste 2 years of my career on my development trying to figure it out and try to understand baseball in the United States.
Interesting. Nestor, you mentioned a bunch of things that were tough. You had to make adjustments. Were those the hardest things, or was there other things that were just, when you first came over, it was really hard to adjust to, whether it be life or baseball?
Those were the most important things that happened to me. The language, I couldn't express myself the way I want to. I couldn't understand what my coaches want me to understand. And the other one, it was in baseball. Baseball in Cuba, we play a little different, a lot different than in professional baseball. It's a good baseball because, Cuba, we got good baseball. For that time, in 1997, we used to win everything. Any international tournament, Cuban national team used to win the Olympics, World Cup, Pan American Games. We got good baseball in Cuba, but it was way different than professional baseball. I'm going to give you an example. I got here my first year. I got running at second base, and my coach asked me to, hey, you got to move the runner. You got to move the runner. You got to hit a ground ball to second base. I say, what? Hit a ground ball to second base? I don't waste the bat. No, so
Yeah.
I hit a ground ball to second base. I'm gonna go 0 for 1. I'm going to drive this run to the plate. So by that time in Cuba, nobody talked to me about moving the runner. I was either asked by the manager to sack bunt, sack bunt, put a sack bunt and move the runner by sack bunt. So that doesn't count on your hitting average. But I got this manager asking me to move the runner, hit a ground ball to second base, and he asked me to be an out. So I never understand that. So I was pulling the ball all the time, trying to get my single. So I got it. The people had a bad impression of myself, thinking I was a selfish player. I didn't want to play for the team. So that was one of the samples that I want to bring you to, so you understand why it was difficult for me. It took me like 2 years. Then why I need to hit a ground ball to second base, because the most important thing in professional baseball, you're playing for the team. You're playing for the team to help the team to win, not for your numbers. And in the minor leagues, we try to develop winning type players that help the big league team to win a championship in the future.
Yeah, and Nestor, interesting. I'm going to stay in the Cuban baseball for a little bit, because I think it's an interesting topic. Before we do that, I want to recognize Nestor Perez Sr., your dad, because he obviously has been in the game a long time, with the Dodgers, winning World Series, as you won World Series with Atlanta. You got Atlanta Braves, unbelievable ring. But your dad had to be, like you said, he was your coach since we were young. Talk about your dad, because he's a special person. I really enjoyed being around him.
The first thing I want to say, I'm here today. I am who I am in baseball. I mean, I'm here today because my dad, because he was the one when I was 2 years old. He put me the glove in the hand and he wanted me to play baseball. I didn't like baseball when I was 2, 3, or 4, 5 years old. But he was the one. He pushed me, and he was the one that found a way to get me out of Cuba and give me a chance to be here playing baseball, and now today as a coach. My dad he worked for the Braves for 9 years. He was international scout for the Braves for 9 years. Then he went to the Dodgers. He's been with the Dodgers last 4. He's working on the international department. He covers Europe. He's a scout for Europe for the Dodgers, and he's a guy. You know him. He got a lot of energy.
Amazing.
He knows the game. He's an old school baseball man. Something that I like. I think I'm a person in the middle. I like old school and new school. I like all the schools.
Yes.
I love old school, and my dad is completely old school. We can sit down talking about baseball for hours and hours, and he won't understand baseball today. He won't understand how it's baseball today. I try to explain him how it is, but like I said, he's on the baseball field whole day. He get up in the morning. He walks to the baseball field. He still take ground balls. He hit bat in practice. He's 70 years old, and he still feel like a kid. He think he's a kid. But his life is baseball, and he's gonna be in the baseball field till his last day in this life.
Absolutely, matter of fact, and he's also in great shape too. He keeps himself in super shape. What about you? Still lean on him? You guys talk like when you're managing games, after a game or after maybe a week later. Do you talk about some of the things? You ask him questions or something you did with with your team?
Most of the time, we got our conversations are in the off season. I trying to help him out to get to know how's baseball now today. So he's updated, so he knows how it is over here now. Because the time different, we cannot talk too much. It's 5 hours ahead now in the Canary Islands, and when we play here at 7 at 9, it's midnight over there. But when I need an advice from him, I call him and I ask him, what do you think? What you should do here? And he gave me the best help that he can give me.
Yeah, what a great person to lean on for advice. We go back to Cuban baseball. It in your days growing up in Cuba. Why so many good Cuban players? I mean, and when they come to the U.S., Nestor, they're pretty much ready to play. You know, it's not like some Latin countries, you know, they're still young, they're still swinging at everything. But the Cuban players are a little bit more organized, a little bit more disciplined. Why there's so many Cuban players coming over that this good?
Because in Cuba, we play organized baseball. We play organized baseball. It's different. Like in the Dominican, the kids that they grow up wanted to play baseball, but they go academies. They always they're only looking for signing professional, and they don't play too many organized baseball. In Cuba, we play a lot of organized baseball games. So that's why probably is the reason we are prepared. We are ready to play real baseball. We are ready to play under the lights with fans, and that's why you see a big difference between Cuban players and the rest of the Latin American players, because in Cuba, you know, we got baseball schools, and every town got a baseball school. Then you have the structure. The structure of baseball in Cuba, it was by that time. I don't know today because I know everything changed now, but at that time the structure of baseball in Cuba, not only baseball, in sports, it was very organized. Everything starts from your town, then you go to play in the for the big city team. Then if you are good, then you play for the national team. So our dream, every Cuban player dream, it was to play for the national baseball team, to represent Cuba. So that was our main goal when we start playing baseball. Nobody was talking about playing the United States, win the World Series, or being in Cooperstown. Everything was about make it to the national team and represent Cuba and win the Olympic Games for the World Cup. So I would say we were different because we were more organized. The structure is better organized.
Yeah, makes sense. And you know, here's what's interesting. Explain this. All right, here we go. Liga Nacional. You know, their top league there. I know you played. You know, in the past. It's been a while since you've been there. But what's interesting. Only national team players were traveling around the world to compete, right? And they were winning everything. Then players started to come over to the US. You know, I think they could have a very good World Baseball Classic team if they're able to get everybody together. But what's interesting is a lot of Cuban players have played in the Liga Nacional, and then they come to the US and they can compete, but they haven't competed at that level. Talk to our audience. What's the league like that when you played in it? I know it could have changed. You know, a lot of players have left, but what's the league right? You know, when you played in it, what kind of level was it? How good was it?
I would say it was like AAA level. I would say the Cuba National League for at that time. I say I don't know.
Right.
And it was like a AAA. It was a AAA league level. That's why all these players that came. I will give you names: Ray Ordóñez, Rolando Arrojo, El Duque Hernandez, Livan Hernandez. Those players they were top in the league. So if you are top in the AAA league, you are ready to play in the big leagues. So if I had to say which level it was, I would say it was AAA. It was AAA guys that if you were in Cuba and you played for the national league, for the national team, that means that you were the best of the best. And if you are in the United States and you are the best of the best in AAA, that means that you're ready to play in the big leagues. So that's why all these players, when they came here, they were successful and they were ready to play in the big leagues.
Nestor, what about the coaches you had? I know your dad coached, but I'm sure you had other coaches. What's a typical Cuban coach like, you know, as far as coaching style, you know, with kids or even with older players? Explain the coaches there.
The first, it was discipline. It was discipline. You got to be on time every day. You got to respect your teammates. You got to respect your coaches. And that was the first one. We were teach to play discipline baseball. That was the main one. And Cuban coaches, they are very smart, because in Cuba to coach baseball you need to have a degree. You know, you got to go to you have to go to be like a sports like sports
sports teacher. Yeah,
a sport teacher, sport degree.
Yeah.
And and all these coaches, they were prepared. They were smart. Most of the players, most of the coaches, they play baseball in the top league, and they the other thing that you can see, Cuban coaches, they have a lot of energy. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of energy. They bring a lot of energy, a lot of good energy to the field. And when you have a coach that is smart and brings you good energy, play the game, and I think that's the guy that person got a chance to be a good coach.
What were
So
they like? What were they like when you failed? How did they deal with that situation? You know, when a
uh,
player fails.
they were tough too. They were
Yeah.
tough. Now here in the United States, you got to meet more like like you. But in Cuba, it was like
Psychologist.
we're straight, we're straight to you. Hey, you did this wrong, blah 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 blah. Don't do it again. So
Yeah.
they were, when you fail, you better do not fail, because they were strong. They were strong coaches, very strong coaches, strong boys.
And in those days, emphasize weightlifting, training, athletic work.
Yes, there was a lot of weightlifting, a lot of running, a lot of sprints. It was very physical. It was more difficult, more physical by that time than now. Now it's lighter. By the way, 1990s, 1997, 90, in the 90s, it was very physical, very physical. A lot of workout in the training room, a lot of sprints, a lot of abs. You got to be strong, and even the Cuban pitchers, though, those were the one that were the physical part the most
Hmm.
ever. When you see a when you see a Cuban pitcher on the 90s and the 80s, and they are very strong pitchers. They practice hard the physical part.
You know, I seen Linares play in the World Championships and a lot of events. Uh, Fair to say, probably the best Cuban player ever.
No doubt, the best, no doubt,
What was this? Why? Why?
because he can do everything. Linares, he can hit for average, he can hit for power, he catch everything at third base. He got a strong arm, he got the five tools, but he got five tools plus, you know. So he was smart. He can
Imagine,
do it.
imagine what he would have made in the U.S.
No, he
We
will
wouldn't
be
have.
he will be a top player in the United States for sure, because he
Yeah,
was Cuba is a big country in baseball, and he was a number one. He was a number one by far. He was a number one. Everybody love him in Cuba. When you go to Cuba and you ask people what's the best player in Cuba, everybody, I would say 90% of the people, they would say Linares for sure. That's the first name that come to your mind.
sure.
So he will
Nestor.
be a star here for sure, no doubt.
Yep. And Nestor. Okay, here you are now. You come to the U.S. You're playing. Then you get released, I believe.
No, I finished in 2005 with Tampa Bay. That was my last year. I played with Tampa Bay my whole career, and they just told me it was enough. That's it. It was time for me to say to not play anymore with Tampa. Um, like I said, I always play with Tampa Bay. They gave me a chance. I played to Double A, but in 2005 they just told me like we are not going to renew your contract.
Sure, sure. And
So
that happens. Now, what? How did you get into coaching all of a sudden? Why coaching?
that's a good story, because in 2005, when they told me, okay, we are not going to renew your contract, the first thing I did, I sat down with a minor league director, and I told him I want to be a coach one day. I want to be a coach one day for Tampa Bay. I'm going to coach him for Tampa Bay. I would like to coach at Infield because I was a good infielder. And he just told me, okay, we're gonna have you in mind. If we got this chance opportunity, we're gonna call you. We're gonna let you know. We're gonna find if we have a chance. We're gonna give you the job. But they never gave me the chance. So my first chance came with the Braves in 2013, and 2 years ago, Tampa Bay asked me to go and coach for them and be managing in High A. So I didn't took the job because I was good here. I was treating well here at the Braves, but
We're talking about 2005. You didn't get a coaching job till 2013. What did you do in between?
Okay, 2005. Then I went back home. I keep playing baseball in Spain. I play in Spanish baseball league in Spain. At the same time, I start helping my dad and coaching the Tenerife Marlins. That you know is our club there in Tenerife. That is a champion in Spain, and we have a good program in Tenerife with our club. So I start helping my dad with teaching the young players. And that's what I did. I started coaching in 2005 for our local club in Tenerife. I used to go with my dad to teach baseball in schools with kids that they don't even know how to use it, how to put the glove. They have no idea how to play baseball. You know, you being in Europe, you know how it is. So that's how I started my coaching career in Tenerife. You know.
And what's interesting about that, when you're this is my opinion. Want to get your side of it. When you're coaching kids that maybe have not played the game or are not that good, but that makes you a better instructor. It made me a good teacher.
No doubt. I had that conversation the other day with one of my coaches, and I told him that one of the reasons that me as a coach, I got a good foundation is because it's difficult to coach in a country like Spain or Europe where kids, they don't watch baseball on TV. So when they come play baseball, they have no idea what kind of sport they're going to play. So you need to start from nothing. Hey, this is how you use the glove. This is how you hold the ball. This is how you get ready to hit. Hey, sometimes they run to third base. They're base. So you have to be a really good coach, and you have to love the game to be a good coach in Europe. You know, and that's what helped me out a lot to be today where I am. A lot.
Yeah, and the other thing about it is these kids, you teach them all this and then they fail, and that's hard too, right? Because now you got to keep them motivated because they're going to fail a lot.
Yes, they're going to fail a lot because they don't see baseball. They have no idea of the game, so they don't have a chance to go home and watch a baseball game and understand how is the game. So you have to repeat every day to see if you can get a good baseball player in Spain or in Europe. You know, it's difficult to teach baseball where soccer or basketball are the main sports, and anything the only one thing you see on TV is soccer every day. You go to a store in Spain, you go a store to try to get a baseball glove, you don't find it. The only one thing you see is soccer or basketball.
You do see some good athletes in Spain, no? Young kids?
Yes. There are good young athletes in Spain. The other reason why you don't get too many Spanish ball players here in the minor leagues or the big leagues is because they don't play too many games. That's the problem that all over Europe. They probably play a kid that is 17 or 16 years old. He probably will play in a year. He will play around 15 to 20 games in the whole year. So the only one way you want to get better playing this game, the only one way you're going to get better in this game is playing games more than practice.
Speaking about that, Nestor, it's interesting because I know in Cuba, I want to jump just for a second there. They play a lot of games. The weather's good. They can play a lot of games, but they also practice a lot, don't they?
In Cuba, we play a lot of games and we practice a lot. Normally, we practice in the morning and play in the afternoon.
Yeah, see, because a lot of places they want to play more games and then they forget to practice, and that hurts.
Yes. It got to be a combination, practice and games. But I would say you can practice the whole year. But you don't play the game, you will never be a better ball player, because you one of the reasons to be a better ball player is to learn how to play the game. And the only one way you're going to learn how to play the game is playing baseball games.
Yeah, and something we're missing, I think. I tell coaches this a lot, and I know in Cuba and in Latin America in general, kids are still playing on their own. And I notice, the Cuban players, the Latin players, they have pretty good instincts, and they get those instincts from playing, not just with their league, but they play on their own, right?
They get the instincts playing on the street, just watching all the players. Because in Cuba we got something that we want to play like who's the best shortstop? Herman Mesa. Everybody wants to catch the ball like Herman Mesa. So you see too many Herman Mesas in Cuba with the same move, same kind of throw to first, the throw to first base, the arm action, the same arm action. So we try to repeat what the good ones do, and we play a lot of baseball on the street, a lot of baseball on the street. We play organized and unorganized ball, or not non-organized baseball, and
Yeah.
like I said, we play every day. We play every day, one way or the other, but we play every day.
Hey, speaking about those skills that the best ones do, what are they? What when it comes to an infielder, what's the skills that you emphasize because the great ones do these?
I would say for infielder, I always teach consistency. You gotta be consistent to be a good infielder. Remember, a good fielding average, you gotta be 970 something or 980.
980, yeah.
That's what. That's one error every 100 1000 opportunities. You know what I mean? So to be a good shortstop, to be a good third baseman, be a good second baseman, you gotta be consistent. You can make mistakes. You can make mistakes. You want to be a good infielder. You gotta catch everything. You gotta throw in the chest, and that's the first thing I teach to my infielders is to be consistent. You gotta be consistent to be a good infielder. That's the number one. And the other one, you guys stay concentrate for 9 innings every pitch, because you don't know when the ball is coming to you. Sometimes I remember playing games at shortstop that I didn't get a ground ball. I didn't get a ground ball for 8 innings. Then I got that ground ball in the 9th inning. So you got to be waiting 9 innings to catch a ground ball. You got to stay concentrated the whole game, pitch by pitch, pitch by pitch. And for me, it's being concentrated and be consistent. Those two got to be together.
And when you played, this is interesting. When it comes to concentration, there's also vision. Where did you look when you were at shortstop? Were you looking at the overall picture? Did you track the ball from the pitcher to the home plate? What do you teach? What did you do?
You track the ball from the pitcher to home plate, and then the bat is going to tell you a lot. The bat is going to tell you a lot. Okay, for example, the first thing you need to look is what is coming. What my pitch is going to throw. You're going to throw fastball or going to throw a breaking ball. You see he's going to throw a breaking ball. You got to be ready to move to the right if it's a right-handed hitter.
Mm-hmm.
What we normally do with breaking ball, we pull the ball. That's what I would say. Like 80% of the hitters on breaking ball, they pull the hanging breaking ball. So when you see your pitchers that are going to throw a breaking ball, you got to be ready to move to the right to the hole. So you anticipate the hole. The other thing you do when you see that breaking ball is to see where's that breaking ball going to land. It's going to land inside, middle of the way. So you got to read the trajectory of the pitch too if it's a breaking ball. If you throw a right-handed hitter, you throw a breaking ball inside, you got a big chance that ball is going to be hitting the hole. Now you throw that breaking ball low and away, that probably he's going to swing and a miss, and if you're going to put in play, going to be put in play up the middle or to second base side. So that's the kind of things that I'm telling you that you have to stay in the game for 9 innings, watching every pitch. Now you got on the mound a guy that throws 98, 97. He throw a fastball inside. Where do you think that ball's going to go? It's going to go the other way.
Yeah.
Not too many people can pull a 90, 98, 97 fastball. You know? So you need to know your pitcher. You need to know what's he going to throw, because you can see a sign from shortstop, from catcher. What's he going to throw? And the hitter's hands. What is he doing what is he doing today? This guy, he pulls. He's a good pull hitter. He likes to hit the other way. Then you see the bat. The bat is going to tell you what the ball is going to. If it's on time, it's not on time. If the bat is on time, the ball is going to go to the pull side. If you're right-handed hitter, the bat of the hitter is on time. Okay, that ball is going to go to his pull side. If the bat is not on time, it's going to go the other way. So as a shortstop, you got to be able to read the bat of the hitter, no doubt.
How do you train yourself to do that?
Okay, the best drill for this is during batting practice. During batting practice, you gotta go there. For example, you hit in group 2. You hit today. you're gonna hit today in group 2 batting practice. Group 1, you go out there, you go shortstop, and every pitch during batting practice, you move, you read the bat of the hitter during batting practice. So it's the best exercise for reading the bat for an infielder is reading the bat during batting practice. Play live during batting practice more than taking round balls. The same for the outfielders. The best deal for outfielders is play live during batting practice, because you can grab a phone ball, you can bring a machine. Never is going to be the same. Never is going to be the same that the connection from home plate with the hitter.
You know, Nestor, what you're saying is, in a real game, you should be seeing on every pitch, every player on the field, except the catcher and a pitcher, there should be some kind of movement of anticipation. You shouldn't react.
You react every pitch. If it's a foul ball, if it's a swing and a miss, even if the guy is taking a pitch, you should be moving. You should be moving, okay, anticipating to one side or the other.
All right, another part of the game that is not controversial, but maybe trained differently in different places. Talk about a little bit about the hands. You know, a lot of times you say, come in, feel the ball, you know, by bringing your hands in. Some people go out. Explain a little bit of that.
Okay, this is another one I learned from somebody. Omar Vizquel. Okay, I never had the chance to get to know Omar Vizquel, but I know people that know him. Okay, he always said, and for me, it's completely right. You are going to be a good shortstop or good infielder if you catch the good hop. Okay, if you always catch the good hop, you try to catch the good hop. It's difficult to miss the good hop. Okay, the good hop, that hop that comes to you like easy hop, is difficult to miss. So that's why we say that good infielders, they catch the ball with their feet. Okay, you have to get to the ball in a proper fielding position, and then you have to be able to read the bounce of the ball to get you to the ball in a position where you can catch the good hop. Okay, if you are going to be always catching in between hops, you're going to be in trouble. So you always want to look for the good hop. You got to go and get it. You go and get it. You got to drop step back, and you got to catch that hop. Okay. So in order for me to say good hands, I never talk to my infielders about good hands. I talk about good feet. You got a good feet, you're gonna have a good hands. Because if you get the ball in a proper fitting position, then your hands. Because for you to catch the ball, first you need to get to the ball. You need to get to the ball first to catch the ball. So how you get to the ball, that's the most important part. Reading the ball and how you get to the ball. You get to the ball in a proper fitting position, you have chances to be successful. So everybody always talk about good hands, good hands, good hands. If you play in the infield, if you play infield, you need to have some kind of good hands, you know, because if not, you wouldn't be playing there. You wouldn't be playing shortstop or second base. You don't got those good hands that everybody talks about. Now you got those hands. How are you gonna get better? Okay, you get better now working on your footwork, reading the ball off the bat, being moving when the ball gets to the plate. Okay, and read the bounce of the ball. Try to get that good hop.
That's one of the toughest ones. And I know we're on video on YouTube and social media, but we're on audio on the Baseball Outside the Box and ESPN Honolulu. The backhand's always a difficult one especially for young kids. I know you can't show it, but talk a little bit about the backhand. The position of it a little bit. What's important?
Definitely the backhand is the more difficult one. Yeah, for me, there are three different backhand plays. Okay, the backhand plays are on a hard hit ground ball to your right. The one that you got to go back. You got to go back because if you don't go back, the ball is going to be in left field. I'm talking about. I always see myself playing shortstop. Okay, so I see myself playing shortstop. A hard hit ground ball to the hole. Hard hit ground ball to the hole. That ground ball, you got to go like you create an angle to go back so you can get to the ball. The other one is the medium, I would call it medium speed ground ball. Okay, it's not hard, it's medium. The one that then you go to the side. Okay, and the other one is slow ground ball to the hole. That one that you got to go and get. Okay, on the first one, normally you catch the ball deep because you're moving back. So you gotta catch the ball deep behind your body. Okay, you're going back. You gotta catch the ball behind. The one to the side, you catch the ball in the middle. You catch the ball in the middle, and the other one, because you're going forward, you gotta catch the ball a little bit at the front, right next to the front foot. So people talk about, okay, catch the ball, moving your hand back, catch the ball, going forward. The ground ball is going to dictate how you catch the ball. If it's a hard hit ground ball, you got to go back. If you're going and get the ball, okay, you got to go forward. So depends of the speed of the ground ball, that's how you're going to move your glove, either back or forward. But always keep the ball inside your legs. Okay, never outside your body. If you're going back, keep it inside your right foot, your right leg. If you're going forward, keep it inside your front leg.
Great stuff.
It's difficult to explain because I think if you can show, it's better.
Yeah. No, but I understand it without watching. I think that's great stuff. The other part of all this, you see shortstops, middle infielders, or even third basemen, they throw from different angles depending on, where they get the ball. What's your opinion? How early should you start teaching that to kids?
I love it because to be a good infielder, you got to be able to throw from different angles. You got to be able to throw from different angles. If it's a deep ground ball in the 6th hole or down the line at third base, you got to go over. You got to go over because that's the strongest throw that you can get. But what about when you're going forward now and the ball is rolling and no bouncing? So you catch the ball down there. Now you're going to come up. You got to throw the ball from down there. What about a second baseman turning double plays?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to catch the ball here. Now you're going to go up. Now you got to throw the ball 3/4 or from the side. Depends where you got the feet from shortstop or third baseman. So I would always love my infielders to throw from be able to throw from different angles. Okay, minimum you got to be over the top and 3/4. With those two, you good. Over the top and 3/4. Now you can throw from the side or from down below. It would be even better. Normally all the Cuban shortstop they throw from everywhere, and normally the good Latin shortstop they are able to throw from everywhere. Because that's what we see on TV from all the good shortstops, and we want to do the same. Just like I told you before, we want to repeat what we see on TV from the good shortstops in Latin America.
So safe to say, you start with young kids, make sure they throw properly first a little bit, right? Make sure they know how to throw correct. And then once they've got that, start throwing from different angles. Can you do that in warm-ups also?
I had this conversation 2 days ago with my second baseman, and I had this conversation 2 days ago with one of our catchers. Okay, the best drill for throwing and learn how to throw accurate is throwing program, and it's something that we normally in baseball do every day. But sometimes we don't just give the throwing program the importance of the throwing program. You have to go and have your throwing program with a purpose. Okay, today I'm going to throw to 120 feet. I'm going to try to hit the chest of the guy the most I can. Okay, so now at the end, I'm going to start throwing from the side, like maybe I'm turning a double play from second base or from, So the throwing program is the best drill, okay, to learn how to throw and to throw properly and to throw from different angles. Now, I heard some people say that throwing from the side might hurt your elbow and because throwing from different angles that you might get hurt. I understand that, Okay, but I never heard good shortstop, Latin American shortstop, they got hurt because they throw from here, from there, from there, from there.
Yep.
Now, if you are 20 years old, 22, and you all your life been throwing over the top, forget it. You had a chance. Don't try it. You're gonna get hurt. If
Interesting.
you are younger and you can start throwing from different angles, you're gonna be fine. Now, I would never ask one man if it is here, they're 20, 21, 22, hey, let's start throwing from the side. He might get hurt. He might get hurt because I don't know how many number of throws he been made his whole life. Now I'm going to change the physical part of his arm. He might get hurt. I'm not a doctor, but that's something I see can happen easy. Changing the angle of an infielder at that age, 20, 21, 22, I think it's a little bit later, a little bit late.
Interesting. I love it. How about now? You become a coach in the minor league system, a hitting coach also you were, and then you get to be manager. Talk about that adjustment going from a coach to now manager. That's a big responsibility.
2016, my boss here, my minor league director came to me and asked me if I want to be a manager. The first thing that came to my mind was like, not the first thing. The first thing happened to me, I got nervous. I got afraid.
Yeah.
Because being a manager anywhere, but being a manager in minor leagues is a lot of responsibility. A lot of responsibility. Remember, the Braves, for example, okay? They are going to sign now in July. They're going to sign July 20 players. We are going to invest our money in a lot in 20 players, millions. Where are they going to? They coming here. They coming low A. So they're going to start in low A. So having in your hands the responsibility of the future of the organization it scares me a little bit, But at the same time, I always wanted to be a manager. So I took the job, and they told me the main reason they were giving me the job is because I was very organized. And there's no doubt you got to be very, very organized to be a manager. Okay, maybe now when I'm 65 years old, 70 or whatever, managing will be easier. Like everything will happen like normal because I've been doing this for years and years. But as right now, in my early career as a manager, I have to be very organized to be managing in the minor leagues. I started in 2016. I started managing in rookie ball. 16, 17, I managed in rookie ball again. 19, I was in rookie ball again. So my first 3 years I was in rookie ball. 2020 there was not a baseball season.
Right.
2021 I started managing in rookie ball, but in June we fired the organization, fired our manager in Double A. So they asked me if I wanted to go to be like a bench coach manager in Double A. So last year I was in Double A. The pitching coach, he was running the pitching part, and I was running the position players part. And we did a great job because we won the championship last year in Double A with the best record in history of the franchise for the Mississippi Braves. And this year I'm down here in Low A. That is something that I like better. I like better Low A than Double A because what I just told you before, this is the foundation. This is the basement of the organization. When the players get here, probably it's the first year in professional baseball or second year in professional baseball. We are the first impression of professional baseball for all these young players signing off a high school or college. So that's what I like. I like teaching, and I like to be the first impression of a professional ball player. So I love when I'm.
Explain when it comes to that level. It's about development, not as much winning, but you want to be competitive, but yet the players, you can only play so much. How does all that work? How do you calculate all that?
Okay. In the minor leagues, I would say from high A, low A, and rookie, winning is not important. But don't get confused. Winning is not important, but development is the most important part. But, okay, you will never be doing a good job development if you don't win a game. So that means you're not developing nobody. You're not developing if you're not winning.
Right.
So I would never be asked to win the championship in this level. Nobody's going to ask me, hey, you got to be champion. We want you to win this year 100 games. No. I'm going to be asked to the group of players that I get here, make them better. Make sure they got better. Make sure when they are going to be ready next year to get to the next step. Make sure next year they're going to be able to play in high A. So that's our job as coaches, as a hitting coach, pitching coach, manager. Teach the player, okay, make them better to get to the next level. That's our main job. Now, if you do your job right and you guys are getting better and they are getting better every day and you work hard every day, you're going to win games. So normally that comes together. If you're not doing a good job developing players, they're not going to win games. So if you're not winning games, okay, that's not your job, but probably you're not doing a good job. Or the other thing can happen is you just don't have a good group of talents. That's another thing can happen too. When you don't have a good group of talent, it's difficult because even if you work every day, make them better, they don't have just much talent as the other things or other organizations. Then now it would be difficult to win games, you know. But the first thing my minor league director tell me every year is, I don't care. Just talk to me like that. I don't care if you don't win a game. I don't care. Just make sure, okay, that get better. So that's how it is in the minor leagues. Now, AA, AAA, this is changing a little bit now because now it's time to play the game. These guys are pretty much ready to play in the big leagues. So now there's not much teaching. It's more like than trying to repeat and to be consistent to be in the big leagues. So now in AAA, I would say they have to win games, and in AA they have to win games because there's not much teaching on those levels. It's more like play every day, repeat, and be consistent. Show you can be consistent on hitting or pitching or fielding to play in the big leagues. So that's the difference between, I would say, AAA, AA, then high A, low A, and rookie ball.
Yeah, that's interesting because, development is so important, but winning is part of development because it's a mental part too, right? You can't, all of a sudden, if you lose 30 games in a row, you're going to still feel bad as a team. And you still have to kind of manage that because you can't just say, well, we lost 30 games. Don't worry about it. We don't have to win. Because instinctively players still want to win.
There's no doubt. And it hurts. It hurts a lot when you lose a game. In anywhere.
Yeah.
Here in leagues, it hurts me and it hurts the players and it hurts the coaches when you lose a game. There are different ways to lose a game, Maybe you play well and just couldn't win that night, But losing hurts a lot. Losing and you just said, and I agree with you 100%. Winning is part of the development because we want to develop winning type players, and we need to learn. We need to teach them how they need to do to win games. Because when you get to the big leagues, it's not about how many homers you hit or how good you do on pitching. It's about winning the World Series ring. That's what it is. It is about winning the World Series, no matter. So when it gets to the big leagues, the big league team only worry about winning. So we need to learn we need to teach how to win games too. But like I said, it's not that much important at this level.
Nestor, what's it look like in your spring training? Because on the same issue that we're talking about, in practice, things you would think have to be done as real as possible eventually, right? To try to emulate the game. It's not easy, but like you said, you can't just practice. But you also have to practice real speed, real game situations. How important is that in order to continue to be better player?
Spring training, okay. Spring training normally, it starts in March, okay, and it starts about mid-February for the pitchers and catchers in the big leagues. Those players in spring training, you normally play no more than 12 games. That's what you play in spring training in the minor leagues. You play 12 games before the season starts. those players, the season finishes in September, normally finish in September, and you have October, November, December, January. They have to come ready to spring training. They cannot come to spring training and start to get ready in spring training. It's too late. It's too late. So these players in the off season, they have to do the workouts. If you are a position player, you need to hit live BP and play some games in your town.
Mm-hmm.
Guys around you. If you are a
Yep.
pitcher, you gotta throw side, you gotta throw live BP, because when it comes to spring training, you only have a month to be ready. But you only play 12 to 14 games in spring training.
Wow.
So everybody always talk about, no, spring training is when they get ready. No, they don't get ready in spring training. No. They get together in spring training. They get together in spring training as a team, as a group. And spring training is the moment for some players to show if they are going to be able to make a team in the big leagues, if they're going to be able to make a team, triple A, double A, high A, they come into spring training to compete for a job.
Yeah.
They come into spring training to compete for a job. So they have to come ready. And that's what we always tell our players. Make sure next year when you come to spring training, you come ready to play since day one.
That's why you see a lot of young players looking at winter leagues, right? Trying to play in winter leagues to sharpen their skills, be more competitive, get more games in.
The best can happen to a young player if he's got a chance to play winter ball. It's the best that can happen to a young player. Because if you are in the big leagues, okay, you are every day playing the big leagues. You're gonna have your job next year. You are every day catcher in the big leagues, and you did well the year before. Next year you're gonna have your job. To start the season, you're gonna be a starting catcher. Okay, but the young players are fighting for a job to make the big league club, or the young players find for a job to make the double A team or the high A team. Okay, they have to stay in shape and getting the more at bats possible in the off season, and learning from the big league players that play in winter ball. So the best can happen to a young player is to play baseball in the winter, because they when they come spring training, they're going to be ready and they're going to be able to play well since day one. Because you are not ready in spring training, it's too late.
Makes sense, Nestor. Great stuff, man. Hey, listen, I want to finish it off with the Tenerife programs that you run. But before I finish it, toughest thing as a manager that you have to deal with? What's the hardest thing about managing?
Let me tell you, the worst thing as a manager for me in the minor leagues is when you get that message from your boss and you gotta tell a kid that he's gonna be released.
Oh man.
Why? It's simple. All these players that we got here 30 players. They all think that they're gonna play in the big leagues. They all think that they're gonna play in the big leagues, and they all are not going to play in the big leagues. So I got a sample now. I say in July now we're gonna draft 20 players. So 20 new ball players are gonna come to the Braves organization in July. So we need to open 20 spots for those players, because we're playing the season right now. And the worst part is when I got that message from my boss telling me, hey, we made a decision to release this guy. Let him know that. And you got to sit down in front of you, a 19 years old kid, 20 years old kid, and tell him he's done. He's done. And normally this is what happened in the minor leagues, because I'm telling you for what I know. When you get released in the minor leagues, you got few percentage to sign with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Few. Normally, most of the time, when you get released, your career is done. It's hard to say, but it's what it is. And you see these kids, sometimes they cry. Sometimes they just don't believe it, what they heard from you. Because sometimes it's like, wow, I'm good. How comes I'm going to get released? I'm going to be a big leaguer, And and the next question is, what I'm going to do right now? What I'm going to do now? So me as a manager, because, okay, I'm the guy that is going to sit down this kid in front of me. I'm going to tell him he's going to get released. Probably this exchange time in the life for this person.
Mm-hmm.
Change now. Now they might have to play independent ball. They just might have to go and get a different job other than baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta go back home in the Dominican, in Cuba, in Dominica, in Puerto Rico, in Venezuela.
Right.
They don't have nothing to do. So this message is going to change their life forever. And that's the worst part. Because you know what? I will never forget when Tampa Bay told me that they are not going to renew my contract.
Mm-hmm.
I will never forget that person that gave me that message, you know?
Right.
For me, telling a person that, hey, your career is almost done is the worst moment as a manager, no doubt.
How does Nestor Perez give that message?
I was teach by Dave Tremblay. The same person that I told you.
Yep.
My first year, when I was going to release my first guy, he told me, I'm going to sit down next to you. And this you need to be short, because if you are not short, probably you stay there all night with the kid crying.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be short. You got to tell them, the organization already being a decision. We made a decision that we're going to release you. You got to go straight. You got to get released. You're going to tell the kid that we appreciate everything you did for the organization, because they do their best to be in the big. So we appreciate all the good effort, the good job this kid put for the organization, and that's it. That you can say any more than that, because if you say anything different than that, then you're gonna stay forever with this kid talking about anything, you know. And
Yeah.
I've been involved in cases where I have to tell them, hey, stay in the office. I'm gonna go outside. You take your time, cry, think what you're gonna do. I'm coming back in 10 to 15 minutes.
What happens if a player says to you, Skip, why are they releasing me? What's the reason?
You know what?
You don't want to get in that conversation.
No, you don't want to get. You don't
want. It just keeps going.
Yes, because the decision is already being made.
Yeah.
I never seen somebody that get released and then we change the decision, you know. So when we made that decision, is because either we think it's enough. We've already seen the kid for 3-4 years, and we think it's not going to make it.
Right.
Because we think we need to open spot from somebody else.
Yep.
Normally does. Those are the cases when you need to open a spot, because we got 30 players and you got another new players coming, and then you have to let people go. So sometimes we just let them go because we need an open spot. You know,
yeah,
but you don't give too much explanation to the kid, because if not, you're gonna get into an argument back and forth, you know.
Right. No, makes sense, man. That's why the manager is the manager. He's got to deal with that, and it's a very difficult thing. And I know that's not easy.
This year I didn't have anyone yet. Okay.
Yeah.
And I just hope I don't have anyone ever in my life, because I don't want to be that guy. But I know it's coming. It's coming, because that's the reality. That's what it is. Baseball.
Yeah, and you got the draft coming up too, you know, so they're going to be signing players, like you said. Hey, listen, here you are, full season, minor league baseball, managing, doing all this, a lot of work. Then you go back home to Tenerife, Spain, a beautiful island, a gorgeous place, great facilities, AstroTurf Field. Your office is there. You guys run the pro, league there, or your team from there also. And you do all these camps all year round. Explain the camps a little bit and what you do, how that all started.
Like I said, everything started with my dad. 1994, he moved to Spain. 1997, I moved to Spain with him.
How did you decide to do the camps, start camps?
Okay, the main reason it was because in Tenerife, in the Canary Islands, we got good weather the whole year to play baseball. Yep. And it's the one place, the Canary Islands is the only one place in Europe where you can play baseball the whole year.
Yep, that's big.
People don't know, or people know, but in Europe, most of the countries, pretty much all the countries in Europe play baseball. Everybody in Cuba play in Europe play baseball, but they don't have where to play baseball in the winter. It's impossible to play baseball in Europe in November, December, January, and February. Play baseball, not to practice. They practice indoor. They practice indoor, probably just like they do here in north of the United States, in New York or in Chicago. They practice indoor, but they cannot play baseball. And kids love playing baseball. They like practicing, but if you tell a kid, hey, you want to play ball game, they say, I want to be there. You want to practice, I want to play. So we said, this is a good chance for us to bring players from all over Europe and play baseball in the island, because we don't have anybody that can compete with the weather. We got the weather, and we are the only one place in Europe that you can play baseball now. So it was my dad. My dad, he got that idea. It was him, and I always thought it was a good idea, because we had the help and the support from the Spanish Baseball Federation. In Europe, we always need the help from federations, local federations or national federations, because they run everything. They pretty much you need their support, and we got the support from the Canary Islands Baseball Federation and the Spanish Baseball Federation, and then we start opening these camps in 2009. 2009 was the first time that we start opening these camps in the winter, and we start with 3 camps a year. One in February, one in September, and another one in December. And now we are in the point where we got, for example, last week I have the Czech national baseball team asking me if they can come to Tenerife in November for a week for practice and play ball. So everybody wants to come and play baseball or practice in Tenerife now, because it's the only one place.
Yeah, it makes sense. And again, for folks out there, anywhere in the world, I'd encourage you to get a hold of Nestor, because if you could take your team there and play, in that type of year, it's a great experience. Not only that, if you could attend one of the camps, great teachers, great instructors, also great support staff. You have a great staff there, Nestor. And the reason I bring this up is because you then convinced the WBSC Europe to run this Winter League, this European Winter League. Talk about how that began and how it went.
We start talking with the International Federation, like a couple years ago, 2 years ago. They liked the idea, but they didn't get involved, But I got a good friend of mine now. Is Peter Dritic. He's the president for the Czech Republic Federation. He came to the islands one time, like 2 years ago, and I tried to sell him the project. And I told him, this is a good idea. And he likes the project. And the first thing he told me, I want to be involved in the project, because he is the president of the Czech Republic Baseball Federation, but at the same time, he's the vice president of the European Baseball Confederation. So he told me he would do everything possible for this program to continue to start. And then he did everything he needed to do. He touched the bases he needed to touch. And then we find out that last year we have the first Euro Baseball Winter League. You were there. You were part of the coaching staff. It was only for 10 days. But the main idea is to be playing for a month. Because what I told you before, kids in Europe, they cannot play baseball in the winter. And we want to help. And we want baseball in Europe to keep growing. And the only one way European players are going to get better is playing baseball games in the winter.
And this is more for 18U, or what kind of age are we talking about that we want to stay with?
We're talking about 18U. Yes, okay. 18U.
Yeah, and that's great. That's the better players from Europe is what you're trying to bring into the camp.
We're trying to be the best players from Europe to the camp, okay? Plus, at the same time, we are giving the chance to the players to sign professional. Last year, the Dodgers, they signed two players out of camp. So 2 players out of a camp in Europe is big. It's big. It's difficult anywhere you have a camp for 10 days and you have to play getting signed professional after the camp is difficult to get. So last year it was our first camp, and we got a pitcher from Russia and a pitcher from Barcelona, Spain. They both signed with, and we had a scout from 5 or 6 different organizations and at the camp, and they want to come back this year again. So you give it a chance to the kids to get better, play baseball in the winter. You give them a chance to being watched by scouts. And at the same time, one of our goals, if maybe probably get them into a scholarship in the United States to go to play in some school or college. That's another one. Anything can be pointing to the professional baseball. A lot of kids in Europe, there are a lot of kids in Europe that don't want to play professional. They want to go to school in the United States. So we want to provide the kids different choices, different options to keep playing the game and realize the dreams, make the dreams come true.
Yeah, and folks, just so you know, this a great program. Again, headed up by Nestor Perez Jr., Nestor Perez Senior's there, his coaching staff. He's got great staff, medical people. So we're talking about education, medical work, classroom work, practices on the field, competition, because they play a tournament at the same time. We actually had a couple kids out of the camp. Nestor may not have known this, signed with colleges also. So that's already starting, Nestor. Already a couple guys have signed in universities in the U.S. Fantastic program. And if you're from Europe and the European Baseball Federation, I know we did a presentation at the European meetings in Slovenia. Not only myself, but also Peter Dietrich. And you got to be part of this program. It is outstanding. That's all we can say. I did a whole show on it. That's how much I thought it was such a great program. I don't just do shows just to do them. I'm going to do them on important things. So Nestor, I got to tell you, again, I told you 1,000 times, unbelievable program, well run, professional all the way. And it teaches kids also how to be professional, how to get ready to be professional, whether you're going into a college, top college, or whether you're going into professional baseball. This prepares you for that too.
I just want to make sure this year you coming back with us, because you were the best acquisition that we can make. It was your person. You really help a lot. You bring all the knowledge that you have during years and years doing international baseball. And I just want to make sure, and right now in front of all the is that you are coming back with us, because we need people like you to stay in our program, and we need to bring more people like you, but we need to keep you.
Well, and I had a great time. I want to come back. There's no doubt about it. And I'm going to do my best to be back. And I had so much fun. It was just a great experience for myself too. And I really enjoyed, I got to tell you, the European players. I really enjoyed being around them. And they were all great kids. We had a lot of fun. So, hey, listen, thanks for everything you.
Yeah. Yes. You didn't say it, but you are wearing today that. I want to say, everybody, that you manage a team that the name was the Golden Stars.
Yeah, that's right here, baby.
And your team won the championship for the camp. So you were manager and coach, and that team, the Golden Stars, they were the champions of the first edition of the Euro Baseball Winter League.
And I'm going to tell you this, the honest truth. The reason we won it was 2 reasons. One, we had a great coaching staff. Our pitching coach and our base coach. Not only that, the kids I had on the team, they gelled. Everybody talks about chemistry, right? They say, what's chemistry? To me, chemistry is when guys get along really well, and girls and guys, whoever's playing, they're friends, they get along, they help each other. That's what, they're not jealous of each other. That's when you got good chemistry. And we had that chemistry because I didn't think we had necessarily the best team.
No, the best thing was the Red Bulls.
Yeah.
And you were supposed to finish 3rd, and you end up being the champion.
Well, we got lucky. Well, I didn't get lucky. I had great players.
Because I was the one that made the teams. And when you make the team, you have an idea. So I say, oh, probably the Golden Star, they might finish third. I'm gonna give it to my friend Caliendo to see how guys, pay the champion. So that's why a good coach is important.
Thank you, Nestor, man. You're the best, man. Give my best to your dad. Hey, good luck the rest of the season. Hope to see you in November. I'm going to work my hardest to be there.
Yeah, we need to start working on the camera soon because November is coming soon. November is this corner.
Well, I'm your biggest supporter, man. I'll do anything for you. Love you. You're fantastic. And so as soon as you're ready, you let me know, and I'll do anything I can to help.
I will let you know because, like I said, I want you to be back with us, and I want you to stay with us forever.
All right, man. Folks, Nestor Perez Jr., outstanding. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you, Pete.
All right, Nestor Perez, thank you. Thank you to Brian Crock, our producer with the Line of Media Group. And thanks to everybody in the U.S. and around the world for joining us. Thank you, ESPN Honolulu. And folks, remember, stay safe, be healthy. God bless you. We'll see you on the next show.